Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and you got to see this. We've been talking about the Chat GPT app. Watch this. They're about to come out with Chat GPT 4. It's like a more advanced thing than the Chat GPT. Watch this.
I have here a nice hand-drawn mock-up of a joke website. Definitely worthy of being put up on my refrigerator. So I'm just going to take out my phone, literally take a photo of this mock-up. Then I'm going to send it to our Discord. And here we go. Technology is now solved. And now we wait. So the thing that's amazing in my mind is that what's going on here is we're talking to a neural network. And this neural network was trained to predict what comes next. Right, it played this game of sort of being shown a partial document and then predicted what comes next across an unimaginably large amount of content. And from there, it learns all of these skills that you can apply in all of these very flexible ways. And so we can actually take now this output. So literally we just said to output the HTML from that picture. And here we go. Actual working JavaScript, filled in the jokes. For comparison, this was the original of our mock-up. And so there you go, going from hand-drawn, beautiful art, if I do say so myself, to working website.
Wow. You know, this is how I know I'm getting old, because this reminds me of when I was younger and I used to have to help my dad figure out how to use his email and do spreadsheets, because those were like the new thing. And now I'm the one getting old, and my kids are going to be acting like I'm an old man and don't understand how to do AI or whatever. Well, speaking of AI, Link2, who's one of my sponsors, they've got artificial intelligence is shaking up the game, changing the way industries work like never before. And for a limited time only, Link2 portfolio companies Samba Nova, Cerebrus, Standard AI, and ASAP are available on Link2, the platform, for $5K minimum. Usually the minimum is like $10K, but there's a link to that in the top of the description, and those are interesting. Now, something I couldn't remember. I guess Brad Garlinghouse did a costume party or something, and he actually put this on. I couldn't remember if this was like a meme that was going around where somebody put Brad Garlinghouse's face on this, or he actually dressed up, but I think he did actually dress up. I show you this because the official cool guy's showing me this. And it's a reminder that tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. Are you feeling lucky? As in an XRP lawsuit feeling lucky? XRP lucky? What if? Then the cool guy also sent this out. Oh, Brad, are you there? Don't leave us stranded in Las Vegas. Digital asset investor not feeling so hot. He's got Brad Combs there. He's got Bob Cugs out there, me, the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, and of course the official cool guys making the call for us. And it's not a coincidence that he put his face on the cool guy in the movie's body. So there can only be one cool guy, right? Now today they raised interest rates in Europe. Check this out.
Deposit rate, goes from 2.5 to 3. Let's get to Steve Leisman, who I think is following too. Steve?
Yeah, Carl, it is 50 across all three different benchmarks of the European Central Bank. So I will tell you this, that we went into this thing, the odds have been moving around all morning, the probabilities. We went into it with a 65% probability of a 25 based on comments that were made just before the number came out.
Okay, I'll save you from having to listen to these guys. The gist of it is, after those bank collapses here in the U.S., everybody was thinking it was going to be more like 0.25. Well, the ECB bucked the trend and they went with 0.5. So everybody's wondering now what the U.S. is going to do, how high they're going to raise the rates, if they raise them at all. And then we've got this from Charles Gasparino. JP Morgan and other big banks are in talks to bolster First Republic Bank. So there's another bank that apparently must be going down, so they've got to save it. Jake Chervinsky. Now, this is all of us getting together right here, folks. He says today, Blockchain Association sent Freedom of Information Act requests to the Fed, FDIC, and OCC demanding information about the unlawful debanking of crypto companies. We are also collecting evidence of debanking. Share your story with us at this website. Here's the situation. There are troubling reports of crypto companies having their bank account closed, often with no notice and no explanation. They've struggled to open new accounts too. This disturbing trend suggests that regulators are trying to cut crypto entirely out of the banking system. These reports are especially concerning this month after the failures of Silvergate, Silicon Valley Bank, and Signature Bank. Those banks had many crypto companies as customers who are now rushing to open new accounts elsewhere to make payroll and stay in business. To be clear, there's no valid reason to debank crypto companies. They're just like all other law-abiding companies that need bank accounts to operate. They hold dollars to pay rent, salaries, taxes. If regulators are debanking crypto companies, they're breaking the law. Yet we still don't know for sure that regulators are forcing banks to close crypto companies' accounts. If they are, it's happening covertly behind the scenes. That's why Blockchain Association submitted Freedom of Information Act requests directly to the regulators today and is asking for your help. Here's what we need so far what we know so far. On January 3rd, the banking regulators issued a joint statement of highlighting key risks associated with crypto assets and crypto asset sector participants. I'm not going to go through this whole thread, folks, but you get the gist of it. And he wants you to send your stories about being debanked to this email address. So let's help the guy out. Then we've got this from Eleanor Terrett, that Tom Emmer, who did say that there was a new day coming, and up until now, all we've had was his letters and his tweets. That's the new day coming. But today, he's adding talk to his arsenal of new day coming weapons. He's now talking on a talk show at Team Cavuto, at Neil Cavuto's show. He's talking now. So far, there is no new day. It's talk, tweets, and letters. Okay? And we're making sure that Tom Emmer is aware of our dissatisfaction. Now, Thinking Crypto, Tony from Thinking Crypto had Paul Grewal on, who's the chief legal officer at Coinbase today. Listen to this.
So let's say in the scenario, the ruling from the judge is in favor of Ripple. Will Coinbase then make the assessment, you know what? It looks like things are moving in the direction of XRP and Ripple and so forth. Relist XRP or restart trading?
It's possible. It would all, of course, depend upon the basis for the ruling, the judge's legal reasoning, our assessment of whether or not an appeals court would affirm that decision. So a lot's going to depend on the particulars of how that court rules. I know that's not going to be terribly satisfying to some, but we do have a responsibility as a publicly listed company to tread carefully in this area and with respect to any token that's the subject of federal court litigation. But I'm very, very eager, as much as anyone else, to see how the court rules. And what I can say is, as soon as we have that ruling, we will put it into our process to see if we need to revisit our listing decision.
And then he said this, and I made the comment that law schools will literally make social media courses to around what the XRP community did during this SEC versus Ripple case, because it changed the game.
Token holders crowdsourcing and causing and having an impact on the case via attorney John Deaton. I didn't see that coming. And I'm like, wow, there's like 70,000 plus XRP holders, and they're all on Twitter, and they're all so it's a very different dynamic. Have you seen anything like this before? And what do you think the impact will be moving forward? Once again, it doesn't have to be XRP. It could be Cardano. It could be whatever. What do you think about that?
No, to answer your question directly, I have not seen anything like this in my experience. And again, even though many of the holders of these tokens and the fans of the projects are quite aggressive and quite vocal. I respect what they're trying to do. In a lot of ways, Tony, this is what democracy is supposed to look like.
It's exactly
right?
what it's supposed to look like. But see, we live in the age of retribution, in the age where your government is lawless. So it's supposed to be like this, though.
Regular people weighing in on important issues that impact their lives. So I have a ton of respect for what all of these communities have been able to do in terms of influencing the direction of the litigation, the arguments that could be made, even the mastery in the building of the record of evidence in the case. It's really quite.
That's the story here, folks. For those of you that don't know, the real story of what the XRP community did was creating those timelines and finding the video evidence and then helping John Deaton build the library. We were there doing that, and that's the real story. Nobody ever saw that coming. Nobody ever saw social media coming to the rescue in that perspective. It literally changed the game. That's what he's talking about.
And attorneys like John Deaton and others, I think, have done an excellent job representing.
Yeah, even though they haven't had hardly any help. Now, right here, this guy it's just flat not true what he says here.
Of course, the XRP Army folks wanted me to ask you, and I don't know if you have an answer to this, but Coinbase did publicly state that they were going to distribute the Flare tokens, which were which were kind of due to the XRP holders, due to a hard fork and things along those lines. Any updates on that, when that may take place?
I don't have any update on that that I can provide today. What I can say is that we take the concern seriously, and I know that may not be satisfying to some who want to see relief today or frankly yesterday. But this is a process that we run across all tokens. We treat everyone the same, and it's important that we tread carefully and appropriately, because again, we are in a slightly different position than many other parts of the crypto economy. We're a publicly listed company. We have obligations to not only our shareholders but to other stakeholders in that capacity. We are going to treat everybody appropriately and equally. Nope. And as soon as we have any further announcements, maybe I'll come back on your podcast, Tony. We can talk.
They don't treat all tokens equally. That's the reason that they've been Bitcoin and Ethereum centric from the very beginning. And that's the reason that their CEO had .eth in his Twitter handle. So they delisted XRP the second the SEC lawsuit dropped. When Ethereum, when the Coinbase insider trading case from the SEC happened, and they designated several Ethereum-based tokens as securities, I don't think they delisted any of those tokens, and especially did not delist Ethereum. Then last week, when the New York Attorney General called Ethereum a security in the suit against KuCoin, they didn't drop ETH, didn't even have a discussion of it in public. And now they won't give us our Flare or our Songbird. Flare distributions based on Flare holdings begin tomorrow, by the way. The XRP outrage is totally justified. They have not, if they were treating everything equal, Ethereum would have been delisted this week because of the New York Attorney General lawsuit. But no, they didn't do it because they don't look at these equally. Now, here's the Flare distribution. And what this means is that as of tomorrow, which is the 17th, wouldn't it be something if Flare dropped tomorrow and at the same time the XRP lawsuit was resolved? But tomorrow, every one of these dates is what you call damages, my friends, because if Coinbase or any of these other platforms that said they would give you your Flare, if they have not given it to you by tomorrow, and you can't send it to to have it wrapped to become wrapped, you cannot receive your distribution. Okay, if you had it on the snapshot date, if you had it on Coinbase or any of these other exchanges, and Coinbase is well aware of that. So all of these are damages dates that add more damages to, I don't know if it's Fred Rispoli's lawsuit or somebody else's against them. Here's Christine Lagarde talking CBDCs.
Look forward a little bit. 5 years' time, hopefully we're gathering together all in person for the BIS Innovation Summit. Where will the world be in terms of digital assets, in terms of central bank digital currency? If I could ask you to forecast a little into the future, where you think we're headed.
5 years' time, I would say many of us will have completed the project, will be in a position or will have launched their digital currencies. We will have done enough good work so that those currencies are convertible easily. We will have worked hard on our payment systems so that transfers and settlements can be orchestrated, organized in a safe, secure and fast way, faster than now, both between central banks and commercial banks, but also between customers and commercial banks, and that the volume of fees and earnings by some will have declined to the benefit of better services and
wonder how those
happier
fees
customers
might come down.
Well, that is an optimistic note to end on.
All right, let's check this out. Regulatory assassination. It is indisputable now that Signature Bank closure was a regulatory assassination. Federal Reserve, FDIC, NYDFS, all in on it. Now control Signet. Incredible. Buy Bitcoin in self-custody. That's his words, not mine. They literally assassinated that bank, folks. Unbelievable. Then there's this from Rob Cunningham, and it says, Big Bang, 72 hours that will change history occurs this weekend, March 18, 19, and 20. Global switch to ISO 222. Says the coming week, it's the ISO 222 migration, Big Bang, Euro 1 system, Swift CB PR systems of Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Our 72 hours in which we make history will start next Friday. Now, I'm not saying that has to do, that means XRP is going to be used. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that ISO 222 is going live, okay? I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Big Bang coming this coming weekend.